Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Chalet Hotel, I request you all to please settle down. I see a lot of empty seats, so please come ahead, the ones behind. Also, the beauty of the afternoon today is directly proportionate to the silence of your phone. So please make sure your phone is on silent mode. Take a minute and put your phone on silent mode. On behalf of Chalet Hotels, I welcome you all to this very special afternoon. My name is Lincia Rosario, and I'm going to be your host, and I want to thank each one of you. Thank you for taking the time out and being here today. As you all know, that at Chalet Hotel, hospitality has never been about buildings or spaces. Hospitality has been about people. The stories we craft, the communities we build, and the experiences that we create. In the last many years, we have grown. We have grown from being India's #1 premium hospitality brand to being a workplace that reflects inclusion, that reflects sustainability. And we feel proud that we have been awarded Great Place to Work for 6 consecutive years, ladies and gentlemen. That deserves a round of applause. In 2023, we came up with the Western Hotel in High-Tech City, Hyderabad, and that is completely run by women, which showcases that we believe in inclusion. We believe that everybody should be a part of this journey. So many, many more milestones to go. And thank you for being a part of this milestone, because this wouldn't have been possible without each one of you. Thank you. In India, we begin any auspicious occasion with the lighting of the lamp. The lighting of the lamp signifies coming forth of knowledge, dispelling of ignorance. So ladies and gentlemen, with the blessings of the Almighty, let's begin this event. What a performance, ladies and gentlemen, by Kathak Rockers. Thank you so much. Invoking the blessings of the Almighty. Such grace, such rhythm. Thank you. And now the reason why we are here. I'm going to invite the man who's going to share the vision and celebrate what's going to usher in the next few moments. Please put your hands together for Dr. Sanjay Sethi, Managing Director and CEO of Chalet Hotels Limited. There he is.
Thank you so much, Lincia. That was wonderful. And thank you to the wonderful performers who we saw perform on stage. So elegantly done. Before we get into the germane agenda of the day, we thought we'll share a little bit about the background of Chalet Hotels, 2.5 decades in this business, and we have a small film to take you through Chalet. May we have the AV, please? That, ladies and gentlemen, was a very brief insight into Chalet Hotels. I hope all of you are familiar with that. I would like to, before I move to the next stage, acknowledge that a lot of my colleagues over here, we are all going to be available for any question and answers that you may have. So how we're going to frame this is, I've got a presentation, I'll take you through that. We'll do the reveal of what we're doing as the next step. Then we've got a couple of other ceremonies before we move into question and answers, and some of my colleagues will join us in the Q&A session. To begin with, the India story, right? 2/3 of India today is under the age of 35 years. A great demographic to work with in our business. Our per capita income is now touching close to $3,000 US, which creates a huge opportunity to then spend on discretionary spends. And travel, in our view now, is no more a discretionary spend, it's become a part of life for people. So I think there's a market that's built up, which is already here, which is massive. 85% of millennials and Gen Zs are saying they're going to spend a lot more than they did in the last year on travel and F&B. And I think that's a great sort of indicator of which way the trend is moving towards, that people want to spend more on what's good for them and spend now, not necessarily only save for the future, which they will, but they will also spend now. And you know, that travel is now become very amorphous between vacations, staycations, actual vacations, MICE events, conference events, all of that these young people are ready to travel. And we're not only talking about the millennials and the Gen Zs as an age profile. I think it's a mindset profile that's sort of creeped into our minds post-COVID. And all of us, because of social media that's there for all of us to consume, have now got a mindset very close to this millennial and the Gen Z mindset. Going forward, this again, I'm talking about the millennial and the Gen Z mindset here. This generation is ready to travel, and it isn't just a break from life, it is a part of life for them. They want to make a sense of what they do. They want to seek meaning in what they do. And they want to do self-discovery and every time that they travel. It could be through seeing new things which they've never seen before, reacting to them, cultural, culinary experiences which they are ready to enjoy. And I think they travel light, they plan less, and very importantly, they seek joy. And joy is the key operative word here. And you would have seen it all over the venue as you came in. Very importantly, they are ready to pay a premium for good experiences. So you can have a regular, ordinary hotel, or you can have a hotel which is full of experiences. The millennial and Gen Z mindset will move towards the hotels and resorts or products that are good, authentic experiences. So what do they crave? They're craving for familiar as well as the joy of the unexpected. And I think that line is very important because all this that I'm talking about is what we've taken into account when we've created what we've created that we're going to share with you in a moment. And from our perspective, we've been doing it for 25 years as hotel owners, as asset managers, as hotel operators, and we've always done it with warm Indian hospitality. Yet, India has less than 2 lakh branded rooms. For a country the size, 2 lakh branded rooms is nothing. Just to give you a perspective, the city of Dubai itself has 1.5 lakh rooms. So what we are saying here, there's a massive opportunity for increasing capacity, increasing supply. And that combined with the demand, which is not just creeping up, I think it's galloping up. There's a massive opportunity for all of us to invest in. And we see this a longest cycle for hospitality. There's a gap on the supply side, and that's where we step in. At Chalet, we've got, as I said, 25 years of existence of Chalet Hotels, but the promoter group has got about 4 decades. Some of us here on the stage and on the seats have equal number of experience. I've put in 37 years in the space of hospitality, a majority of it on the operating side of the business. And I think we are beautifully placed today to create that next chapter in our life, which is something that's going to take us to a new step. But before I sort of announce that, I'm going to request my colleagues, Shwetank, Nitin, Gaurav, Salil, to join me on stage for this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this in mind, we are happy and delighted to present to you want to watch the lights on the stage downstairs as they creep up to the screen. Thank you. So, delighted to present to all of you Athiva Hotels and Resorts, a new brand that we've created for now for ourselves. It's going to be used for hotels and resorts that we build ourselves. At some point of time, it can be used and expanded to be an asset-light strategy, but for now, it's for internal use. But what we are doing, in a sense, by stringing together the hotels that we run ourselves under one common name, is creating a launch pad for the next part of the strategy or the next springboard for maybe going asset-light a few years down the line. I don't know when it is going to be, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. But we are creating an ability to do an asset-light vertical at Chalet. Athiva in itself, in Sanskrit, means abundance. And from our perspective, we connote or join this abundance with joy. So from our perspective, it is abundant joy that we offer at Athiva, hotels and resorts. And the experiences that we create or that we've been working on now for almost a year are all centered around this abundant joy theme. And going forward, the promise that we make to our guests is the assurance of the expected. This is basically getting the basics right, making sure that everyone has a solid experience on the basics. But we need to go beyond that. And beyond that, it is about creating joy of the unexpected. So whilst we have a laid down, SOPs or operating manuals, which will define what we'll do as a minimum, but all our colleagues have been empowered to give individual experiences to guests as they think right at the moment. So that's how we've empowered our colleagues. And this is what I was saying, the SOPs will be played by the book, but everything else will be done from the heart. And I think that's something that our colleagues that we have at Athiva are well tuned to. And as you go to our hotels and resorts, you will experience that they were empowered to take decisions to make your stay a great one. Athiva is built on a foundation of 3 key pillars, and these are important, so please, I request you to pay attention to this. The first pillar is joy, which is a no-brainer. That's how we've associated the word Athiva. It is abundant joy. And it's all about small and big things coming to you to make it memorable, and more importantly, to encourage you to come back again to experience them again, but differently next time. Because as we said, we're going to do things differently all the time. The second pillar is about wellness. And from our perspective, we are not looking at wellness in the blinkered thing of only the body. We are not saying it's only about a good spa or a good gym or a good diet, a good quality healthy food. We are saying let's go beyond that. Mental wellness, mental well-being are just so as important as everything else. So if we were to offer tomorrow, and I want to give this as an example because it will give you how we are thinking. If we were to give an iced lolly to you as you laze around the swimming pool on a summer afternoon, someone may question, but that's not a healthy item. I want to question that. The joy that iced lolly, whether it's orange flavored or guava flavored or mango flavored, now imagine that, coming to you on a summer afternoon as you laze by the swimming pool, is going to create so much joy in your mind that it will elevate the whole experience of the afternoon for you. Your challenge at that point of time is, it's a sugar rush. Well, we can control that. We can manage that. But we will continue to work on mental wellness and mental well-being, and in addition to, of course, the physical well-being, which is going to be in a situation where we get an opportunity to relax, to sort of rejuvenate inside and out, sleep in and stretch out. And very importantly, very often where this happens, that when we go back home after a holiday or after a business trip, we're tired and exhausted. We want our guests to go back home, relaxed, and ready to go face the next day for themselves with full of energy. And that's what our wellness will be focused on. The final pillar is sustainability. And the whole idea here is Chalet has been always very strong on sustainability. I think you saw that in the Chalet video. We are ranked 6th amongst the world by Dow Jones Sustainability Index in hotels, resorts, and cruise liners. And the best, that's the highest rating that we have in India for any hotel company, at a rating of 67 on Dow Jones. We are doing very well. We've also made commitments to the climate group. We've already fulfilled one commitment on EV100. We've got 2 more to go. We are well on schedule to finish them ahead of time. And we've also committed to a net zero strategy by 2040, which is earlier than most other hotel companies have done. Just to share an update on that, we are already in scope 3. I've got my colleague Janvi here, who's spearheading this and running this extremely well. Scope 3 is the final scope for getting to net zero, and we're getting there. The important thing that I want to highlight here is that we have 3 pillars for the Athiva brand. And very consciously, we made sustainability as one of the 3 pillars. It is standing shoulder to shoulder to guest experiences of joy and wellness. And then that's how we give importance, how much importance we give to sustainability. And I wanted to highlight that here. Going to the next slide. There are 30, 40 different A-lister items that we have in our list. And obviously, we couldn't cover them here. So I'm not going to take you through all of them here. But this is just to give you a glimpse of what our USPs are going to be, how we are going to differentiate ourselves. Amongst all this, my personal favorites, and I think a lot of you would have felt that we'll be serving 24/7 breakfast. Which means if you have breakfast inclusive rate, you can have breakfast at any point of time during the day with that complimentary breakfast. That's one personal favorite. Dollops of Joy is another personal favorite, and you must get those experiences. It's not just about dollops of ice cream as joy, but it is dollops of joy as a whole. And my third favorite, which is critical for this success of this brand, is empowered team. Because if they're not empowered and they don't have the authority to take decision on the spot, we'll be doing ourselves a disservice and not be living the brand. We want to live the brand through our teams, and therefore we need to empower them. So this is about the brand itself. Ladies and gentlemen, the first Ativa Resort and Spa will open its doors tomorrow morning. The erstwhile Duke's Retreat is now going to be called the Ativa Resort and Spa Khandala. And we are very excited. We've got a general manager from the resort over here. And we truly hope that you'll get an opportunity to go and enjoy this at some point of time. We've been working on it for over 1.5 years to reposition it, renovate it, expand it. What we didn't change and should never have changed are the views, and those are stunning. Especially during the monsoon, we have 5, 6 waterfalls that are visible from your bed. All our beds face the windows. It's really a stunning experience. Please go and experience that whenever you can. So we are truly looking forward to this one. Following this, and including this, we have 6 hotels under the portfolio already, which are either going to be branded in the near future or in some couple of years as Ativa. So we've already spoken about the Khandala Resort at Ativa Resort and Spa. We're going to have by January an Ativa Business Hotel in Navi Mumbai. We're going to have Ativa Resort and Spa in Aksa Beach in Mumbai. We're going to have Ativa Resort and Spa at Varka in South Goa. We're going to have Ativa Resort and Spa in North Goa in Bambolim. And finally, an Ativa Resort with a convention center in Thiruvananthapuram. So these are the 6 hotels, but this is 900 rooms, but this is not all. There's a lot more that's going to get added as we move along on this. So please watch this space for growth. A quick visual reference to some of these hotels that we have. I'm going to move on from here. I think it is the value system of a company that drives success. And our value systems have been fairly consistent over the years. There's customer or guest centricity at the center of it, integrity, respect, efficiency, attention to detail, and of course sustainability, which I've spoken a lot about. In my view, all these values that we have sort of culminate into 4 words, which is do the right thing. That's a principle I've lived by personally for the last 37 years of my career, and I think do the right thing is the credo that we'd like our employees and our colleagues to follow as a guideline and as the North Star to follow in the coming years. You know, I could have shared a lot more. I would have liked to share a lot more, but I can't cover all of it here. I'm going to leave the rest of it for you to experience when you go to our Duke's Hotel, which is the old Duke's, today's Duke's, tomorrow's Ativa, and enjoy that. And we are open to feedback from you at any given point of time. With this, I'm going to thank you and move on to the next section of the presentation today. Thank you. Yeah. So the next thing is we're going to show you a small visual brand clip, which is going to give you a flavor of what the resort, the hotels are going to be like. So I think I'm supposed to click it. Here it goes.
Flowers, maybe?
A world without Mondays.
Good night's sleep.
No lag and cheese fries.
Spa day.
Classic. On the rocks? Yeah.
This. The smell of rain.
Joy is just that feeling.
Athiva Hotels and Resorts, where joy is on the house.
Athiva, where joy is on the house. And to celebrate this joyous occasion, we have the glasses that's going to be passed around. So please help yourself because we are going to raise a toast together. We have a few glasses being passed around there too.
Okay, while that's happening, you know what we're going to do is after raising the toast, we're going to open the question and answer session, which will give you an opportunity to understand, get a deeper understanding of the brand.
Yes.
But very importantly, I do want to commit here that all of us are hoteliers by heart and by background. So, and at K. Raheja Corp or Chalet Hotels, we never do anything small, right? We will do this with a material might behind it, with the whole force of the promoter group and the Chalet Hotels behind it. We'll do it big. For now, as I said, we're doing it for our own hotels. So we will continue to focus on adding to our portfolio. At some point of time, we may have an opportunity to grow bigger than that. As soon as everyone has glasses, I'm going to leave it to our lovely host, Lincia, to raise a toast along with us. But I thought I'll fill in the time.
Yes, and don't mind the glass there because when the glass breaks, my mom says it's very, very lucky, right?
Thank you.
So luck is coming forth. Let it come in. Let it come in. Do we have the glasses with us? Yeah, don't break it intentionally, guys. Please. All right. So everyone, the ones behind there, can we have the glass passed around? Even if you don't drink it, it could just be you being a part of this moment. I'm going to also invite on stage Mr. Shwetang Singh and Mr. Gaurav Singh.
Gaurav, you want to go that side so that you don't block
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Also, make sure you have your questions handy because post this we will have the Q&A session. Are we ready with our glasses, everyone? Anyone is not having a glass, wants a glass, please raise your hand. Okay, great. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. To Athiva, to new beginnings, to warmth, and to abundant joy.
To Athiva.
We would now have the house open for Q&A. If you have questions, you can just go ahead, raise your hands. Anyone? We'll have the mic passed around. Can we have the mic passed around, please?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
This is an amazing initiative. And I really liked what drives it completely with all the attention and the quality that has been proven by Chalet Hotels. And I'm not, I believe in that. That's why I'm telling you I do have a background in hoteliering. But I want to just ask you one question. You know, the second name that's there in, I mean, this is resorts, right? I mean, and that doesn't mean that you can't have a business hotel.
No,
but
this
the
is
second
Athiva
one is
hotels and resorts.
hotels and resorts. Okay, okay. So the second one is actually a business
That's right.
hotel.
So our brand is Athiva Hotels and Resorts.
Right. Okay.
The resorts could be a further extension of resort and spa.
Sure.
Hotel could be hotel and convention center. The Trivandrum one, for example, we're speaking about is a resort and convention center. So that's the fungibility that we have created in the brand, the flexibility and the agility. As we move along, we are able to address that. I think an important point that you would want to raise here is probably the positioning of this brand. So from our perspective, we see ourselves as the sweet spot is upper upscale. So just below super luxury, but above mid-segment significantly, right? So to give you a reference, and I'm sure this will come as a question, so I might as well answer it in advance. The Duke's Retreat, when we acquired it a couple of years back, was positioned at an average room rate of 8,000 rupees. Today, with the soft launch before we launched it as Ativa, is operating at about 14,000 rupees. So from a resort perspective, that 12 to 25,000 rupees is the space that the resorts will operate in. The business hotels will operate somewhere between 8, 10, 9,000 to up to about 16, 17,000. So that's the price positioning. We are not comparing ourselves with other brands because it will be unfair. All other hotel companies have multiple brands. We have one mother brand that we're going to work with. We want to keep it agile. We want it flexible. We want it to live the spirit of joy.
Wonderful. And you'll also cross-promote it through all your other existing fantastic properties across the cities.
Absolutely. Look, we have wonderful partners in the other brands, and our relationship is very strong, whether it's Marriott, whether it's Accor, whether it's Taj, whether it's Hyatt. We are working with all of them, and they're aware of this. This is something that we made them aware, that we're going to do our own hotels. But remember, it doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to work with the others. Each decision of a brand and a hotel will be decided by that individual asset. So if that asset, for example, I'm giving a small example, there'll be many other considerations, has 50% of its target audience coming in from, say, US. We don't have a distribution system today for US, right? So I'd rather tie up with another brand that has that. Now that could come in the form of franchise, it could come in the form of management contract, it could come in the form of a soft brand associated with Ativa. So here's the wonderful thing about Ativa. We can even cross-brand it with other global brands and Indian brands. So that opportunity is there with us also.
One last question. Others are also waiting. The list of forthcoming properties that you mentioned, you showed, how much time do you think that will take for you to bring them out?
So I gave a soft reference to them. As you know, the Ativa Resort will open tomorrow at Khandala. We're expecting by January to rebrand the Vashi one into Ativa. It will be a business hotel, but a stunning hotel. It's undergoing renovation right now. It's coming out very well. We expect the resort in Mud Island to be branded as Ativa almost immediately after that, maybe a month or two after that. The other three are greenfield projects, which we're developing. We have 190 rooms at Varka, 170 rooms at Bambolim. We've got roughly 150 in the first phase at Trivandrum, but it can go up to a 250-room hotel. It's a lovely 44-acre land parcel with a lake in the middle of the land parcel, so it's stunning. But that is not all. I mean, our teams are working day and night of getting a lot more. This is what we can announce today, but there's going to be a lot more.
Fantastic. Godspeed, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Request you to ask one question per person. A lot of people put their
We will
hands
come
up.
back to you if you have more questions, please.
Sir, here, Mariam
Yes,
from
ma'am.
Money Control.
ma'am.
Sir, just wanted to understand with Ativa's launch, what is the portfolio currently, the hotel portfolio right now, and if you could share some in terms of the upcoming pipeline as well.
So we just spoke about it, the 900 rooms, 6 hotels. That's what is publicly being shared right now. Out of that, the first one will go online tomorrow. And there are a lot more coming. Shwetang, maybe you want to step in and share some thoughts on this?
Thank you. Just wanted to add that we have so far, you saw it in the video as well. We have 3,350 odd rooms that are operational today with various brands. And we have a pipeline of 1,200 that has been announced. So what you saw on the list there is from that same pipeline. So don't go and add 600 rooms to that or 900 rooms to that. So we are on track for a 4,600 rooms in total. And Ativa is being branded from amongst the announced pipeline. I hope that clarifies your question.
Yeah, hi. This is
You will get the copies of the presentation with you so that you will have the data points to refer to.
Yeah, we have a question here.
Yeah, this is Lokesh Shastri from MTI News. Firstly, congratulations on the kind of presentation that you have already given. It appears to be too good to be true. So could you share some light on your sustainability in the financial part? So how profitable will the business be, and how will you be able to sustain it with this kind of features that you have already offered and facilities?
So, Rakesh, it's like this. Chalet has been at the top of the margin contribution pyramid in the hotel industry for many years. Whether when we were private, we were still at the top. When we are public, we're still at the top. The numbers are shared. We operated about 44% EBITDA margin there and about. Every asset that we decide to build or develop or acquire must meet those benchmarks when they stabilize. So that continues to be our goal. We have an investment matrix that we work off, which is very, very clear, that we will not do hotels which do not meet our investment thesis. And that is soft aspects to it, which is the size, locations, type of hotels, positioning. But there are also hard aspects and cutoff in terms of returns on investment, in terms of return on capital employed, IRRs. We will also, for example, and I think that'll give you an insight, we will not do 30, 40, 50 room hotels. It doesn't make sense. Unless they have huge amount of revenue per room, right? So our cutoff point today is that on a stabilized stage, any acquisition or new development we do should contribute at least 25 crores of EBITDA for a business hotel and minimum 20 crores of EBITDA from a resort hotel in the first stable year. But that's the first stable year. After that, it continues to grow. So we do not want to take assets which contribute 5, 6, 10 crores of EBITDA. It dilutes our management time.
Go ahead. Can we have the mic passed around to her, please?
Hi, this is Rohini Chakraborty from the Telegraph, Kolkata. So as you highlighted that the millennials and Gen Zs are more keen to travel nowadays. So how do you plan on making it easier for them? And as we are talking about joy, so can we expect Athiva in the city of joy?
আপনার সঙ্গে বাংলায় কথা করতে হবে তাহলে তো but yes, City of Joy is one of my favorite cities. Personally, we'd like to be there. We would like the city to create a demand that justifies more hotel rooms. Whilst the hotels that are doing significantly well, when we put in a big box, we want to make sure the business overall for the industry doesn't dilute with that. We've looked at Calcutta very often. At the right time, we look at those opportunities. We're also very keen to look at the Northeast, so Darjeeling and all are all on the horizon from a West Bengal perspective. But from an operating perspective that you ask, how will we get our guests to get that feeling of joy, as well as how do we get the millennial Gen Zs to come in? Maybe Gaurav, you can step in and say a few words.
Thank you, Sanjay. You know, Sanjay's presentation alluded to some of the elements that come alive with Athiva. And I think as an operator, we are very keen to bring joy with abundance into the lives of our guests. Some of the elements that are coming to life in that is things like the binge box, which you may have seen on screen, which is that we've replaced many bars to have a binge box in every room, which is sustainable in nature, which will be provided as part of your room. So it's just a small element in your stay. But when you check into one of our hotels at the Athiva, you will not get a typical minibar, but instead get a binge box, which you can actually enjoy compliments of Athiva.
Yeah, and you know, unlike many other hotels, our hotels, whatever's there in your room is for your consumption, and it's already priced in, so you don't need to pay anything extra for that unless you order something extra.
Hi, Sanjay.
Okay, yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Is it on? Yeah.
I can hear
Hi, Sheila Datya here. Just wondering, with the two rebrandings and the 3 greenfield projects, what is the total capex? That's number one. And number two is in the kind of mid, like you mentioned, you were like above the mid segment, but below the luxury segment. So in that segment or in the segments above, what is the kind of upside do you see in tariffs?
So look, what we've noticed, I'm going to answer the second question first, is that in the last couple of years, the sweet spot for the hotel industry is exactly where we're positioning Athiva, which is what is called as the upper upscale or upscale within the STR way of looking at things, or consultants' way of looking at things. We are not confining ourselves to those horizontal lines that the consultants define as your positioning. We are amorphous. We are targeting the millennial Gen Z mindset and affluent travelers within that. And therefore, from that perspective, we believe that we will stay ahead at just below the peak of the pyramid, traveling pyramid. On your first question, which is about investments, look, Duke's Retreat, all in, including the purchase price, including the renovation and expansion that we've done. We expanded capacity from 80 rooms to 147 rooms. All of that included is roughly a 300 crore number. Most of it is already spent, right? Four Points Sheraton, which is converting to Athiva, is undergoing a major renovation. So, and there is roughly a 60, 70 lakh per room spend on renovating that hotel, because that also includes the public areas that are being extensively renovated. Your third hotel is going to have a soft refurb, which is currently owned by the K. Raja Corp as a group. We manage it for them. So we are operators and managers for that hotel. And there will be some amount of capex, but soft capex going into that hotel. But that hotel, I must highlight here, has a potential for expansion. And I think the location is wonderful. I see the current resort Mud Marve as something like the Taj Lands End was about 15, 20 years back. With the coastal road getting to Warsaw and Warsaw getting subsequently linked to Mud Marve, you're literally being connected to Nariman Point directly in a half an hour to 35-minute ride. It takes 2 hours right now. So there's an expansion potential. I won't share any numbers. We're working on expanding that hotel. So that's the third one. There's no spend by Chalet on that one. The two Goa hotels will, including land, cost us slightly north of 2 crore rupees per room. And there are about 360 rooms over there. Shashank, am I right in that number? And finally, Trivandrum. Trivandrum is going to be roughly under 1 crore a room for the 150 rooms that we're talking about. So you can do your math from there. But you must remember, all this investment is not on the brand. These are on hard assets. And that's where our strength is. On the brand itself, I think the fact that we have a portfolio to start off with, pretty much like all the other Indian companies, when they started off, they started with their own hotels. Right? If you go back 120 years in one company's case, or 70, 80 years in the other company's case, it was only their own hotels that they ran under their brands. We're doing a similar thing. But then there's an opportunity for going asset light at some point of time. Sorry, did I answer everything that you'd asked? There's no timeline. At the moment, we're not even thinking about it. I'm saying we are creating an opportunity for future, a springboard for a launch of an asset-light strategy, but that's not for now. I want to be very clear on that. In terms of reporting, please be conscious of this, that we are not looking at an asset-light strategy right now. This is for our own hotels.
Any more questions? The one there?
Yes. Yeah. Janet from Outlook magazine. I have one question on the sustainability aspect. So for your Athiva properties, if you can give some highlights, some color on what are the things and elements that you're looking at.
I can do it, or I can even get Janvi involved, but let me, is Janvi around here? Janvi, you want to take the mic and I should do it? All right. Look, Janvi is driving a lot of this. So the first hotel, as I said, is Athiva Resort and Spa at Khandala. When we took it over, it was very dilapidated. The machinery was very old. The hotel was very run down. So we had the opportunity of literally gutting it out and redoing it. However, what we couldn't change was the footprint because of the sensitivity of the zones, etc. So we worked within that footprint. But whatever we've done, right from the design aspect, there has to be a sign off by the Chief of Sustainability at our team. Even when you're designing, even architecture and interior designs that we made. And what are we looking at? We're looking at material. Materials that we use should have a low carbon footprint. The energy consumption for that hotel should be low. The waste management should be airtight, zero waste, water waste let out into the municipal lines, all done and treated internally and reused internally. Air quality we control through our wet scrubbers in our exhaust systems to make sure we keep that clean. But there are so many things, right, from every material. In fact, what you see on your table, the plantables that you see with Joy on the House, these are all aligned with that. You've got to experience it to really know about it. We've gone to the extent of identifying all the plants and trees in that property, putting a QR code on that tree, so it gives an opportunity for people to learn about that plant. And not only that, we've even gone and researched on the types of birds that are there in that area and the sounds that they make. And our guests will get an experience through a nature walk to experience all this. Sustainability goes beyond just environment management. It also includes the local communities. It also includes diversity. Chalet has been at the forefront of diversity. Lindsay had earlier shared about the one hotel that is run all by women. It is not that we decide, okay, put an all-women run hotel and that's diversity. No. Our point there was create a talent base of trained women in every department so we can use them all over. Chalet was 13% on diversity, say about 10 years back, 10, 11 years back. Today we are at 24%. Still a lot of room for growth, but 13 to 24 is also a big improvement. And I think that's been a strength that we have. It reflects in our Great Places to Work scores for women as well as all the employees and all. In fact, we will be listed amongst the top few companies in Asia to work for, including for women. That's also sustainability. Local communities. If you look at our menus, etc., that we've created, we've actually worked with the local communities to create those recipes and menus. We are training locals around there to be employees of the hotel or create business models of their own. Recently, we planted how many thousand trees with the Navy? Sorry? 30,000 trees are planted by Chalet in the recent past, partnering with the Indian Navy over there. And each of those plants have been planted either by employees or our guests. And they have a sense of ownership to those plants. It's not just about planting. We should be able to maintain and get them to maturity for them to contribute to negating the carbon footprint. And therefore, we're working on all of that. Did I miss out on something? So we've gone 100% electric vehicle in Chalet, what, 2-3 weeks back, or a little longer? Which means all vehicles, not only the ones that we manage, including the ones that are managed by third-party brands, are today electric vehicles. All of them. I hope I've covered your question. Thank you. Yes, please.
We have one question. Yeah, okay.
Hi, good afternoon, Sanjay and team. Congratulations and best wishes for this new venture. Anish here from the business line. Just wanted to understand how should shareholders, investors look at it, this development from a P&L perspective? I mean, given that you have a new brand, I suppose you have some costs attached to it in terms of hiring that it may be requiring to create your own sales teams and perhaps a sales force and employees for this new hotels. And also to understand this would be, is it going to be housed in a separate subsidiary or something, or is it like going to be like, or is it just like a separate brand or like, and.
So Anish, it's housed in Chalet Hotels Limited, not separately for now. To answer your question on costs, look, we've been running these 3 hotels already ourselves. So there's no new additional costs that we're creating. We're already running those costs. What we are doing now is we are taking the brand in our, making it our brand. So our outflow actually reduces to some extent. Not material for now, but good enough for it to be the first step to getting independent of the big brands. In the P&L side, we believe all these hotels that we're talking about, whether it's Goa or Lonavala or Navi Mumbai and Trivandrum, they're all going to be value accretive. We will not do a single asset that dilutes our P&L. Our focus will always be to enhance the P&L further. So we expect them to contribute positively to the margins.
Any more questions? Can we have the mic here too?
Thanks. This is Swaraj Bagonkar from Financial Express. Just one question. Ativa, as you said, sits in the upscale and upper upscale segment. But there's also one segment which has gained a lot of prominence lately, where you've seen M&As also happening, which is the mid-market segment. Today is the day, I understand, for Ativa, but going forward, do you see potentially you venturing into mid-market?
So again, as I said, I don't want to categorize ourselves under some horizontal lines drawn by consultants. Ativa is amorphous. We want to be leaders in the respective markets that we operate in, the micro markets that we operate in, and we want to address the higher end of the target audience there for that local market. Mid-market, and I've run mid-market hotels. I was the founder of Keys Hotels many years back. I'll tell you what the challenge with mid-markets is, and that's why we don't like mid-market. When I talk about mid-market, I'm talking really about budget, above budget travel. Most brands have called it now mid-market because it sounds better. But they're primarily budget hotels. Margins are tight, and they're very sensitive to geopolitical and financial situations. Luxury, mid-market, and below are the most sensitive segments of the hospitality industry. The person who's using the upper upscale is traveling either for work or leisure. For work, work doesn't stop, work continues. Companies pay for it. And when companies pay for it, you're either positioned in upscale or an upper upscale because that's what the typical per diems for people are when they travel. From a leisure perspective, I believe the meat of India, where it's going to grow, the majority of India where it's going to grow, is going to migrate towards this upscale and upper upscale segment. The millennials, which are rapidly becoming a primary target audience, who are in the mid-30s now, they are getting the propensity to pay because their earnings are increasing significantly, and they are doing this sometimes traveling at the cost of savings. They don't want to stay in mid-market and budget hotels. They want experiences of good quality. So what's defining our positioning is not mid-market, upper upscale or upscale. It is by the high-end experiences that we are offering, and therefore there's a price to high-end experiences, and that's where we are positioned. And we are very confident that this is going to be the top moving segment in the industry. Are we done? Yes, sir.
We'll take the last 2 questions. Yeah.
Could you throw some light on your marketing strategy and expansion plans, particularly if there is anything in pipeline overseas?
So we have nothing on pipeline overseas. We believe the India opportunity is very strong, and any capital that is spread thin beyond India today is not going to give you the returns that you can get in India. So we believe massively on the India story. Athiva is founded as an Indian brand. The foundation is Indian. I don't know whether you noticed this. We call it warm Indian hospitality. I have consciously removed the word traditional warm Indian hospitality, which is typically used. So what we are doing is we are serving contemporary warm Indian hospitality. Now, from that perspective, the market is India, and the whole world is coming to India to grow their brands and invest in India. There's no reason for us to go out and dilute ourselves thin. Geographical diversification, we're doing within India. We have still a lot more to cover in India. So we will get we will execute a strategy that's going to cover a larger geography within India. We are addressing a new market for India, which is going to be deep, and at least for the next 10 to 20 years, seems very strong. We are addressing a segment which for us as hoteliers is also profitable, because the young millennials don't want 10 people hovering around them, or Gen Zs, when they're dining. They don't want to be asked 10 times, is the food okay or not? They want to be asked once or twice to see if everything is okay, then get out of their face. They have their own things to do, don't disturb them. And that's the theme that we follow over here. And therefore, true to Chalet, what we've done in the past, we run with high productivity on the employee side, we work with high cost efficiencies, but more importantly, and that's the key takeaway, is revenue leadership. Each of our hotels are revenue leaders. And then the cost capabilities drive the high margins that we deliver.
The last question behind.
Hello. Hi, Mr. Sanjay Sethi. I'm Rachna from Soul of Hospitality magazine. First of all, congratulations on the launch of Athiva. I'd like to know if there is a significance behind the name Athiva or a story behind it.
Very interesting question. Yeah, so we worked with brand consultants for an extended period of time, and we rejected close to 100 names. I think how Athiva came about was in one of those meetings that was happening online. And while I was speaking to them, I was also Googling. And my focus was on Atithi, right? And I was looking for names similar to Atithi, which is guest, within the Google network. And Athiva popped up, and I thought that sounded really cool, number one. Number two, it resonated very well with our principles, our belief, and where we wanted this brand positioned. Abundance and abundance of joy, abundance of wellness, abundance of care. These are the 3 operating phrases here. It just gelled so well, and everyone loved it. And then, besides the name, which is Athiva Hotels and Resorts, that ribbon came into being. And the ribbon actually is a continuous flow of free form of life. And it has got 4 colors. I'm very bad with color names. They are very specific colors. I'll let the rest share that with you. But there are 4 colors which are signifying joy for you. And that's where this Athiva sort of hovers around. That's the name story. we needed to have .com also available, right? So that was one of the criteria, and needed to be small.
I think with that, thank you so much, Sanjay, for answering all these questions. So many questions means people are curious and excited at the same time. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move for lunch. I want to take this opportunity to thank each one of you for being here. If you have any questions, we have the entire team here. They are happy to answer your questions. Thank you once again to Athiva, to New Beginnings, to Abundant, Abundant Joy. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We'll go for lunch across to the main building. Come. All of you come.